Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back at it with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another Let's Talk based on some Batman villains here. And it's going to be let's talk about the Court of Owls. Personally, in my personal opinion, one of the most underrated villains of Batman, basically. Uh, yeah, so anyways, I just felt like this is a much needed Let's Talk. It's going to be a bit of a let's talk about the Court of Owls slash Talon as well, because I feel like I should talk about them both like at the same kind of time. So that's the kind of reason why I'm kind of doing this. But anyways, yeah, again, one of the most underrated Batman villains ever. I think they're really really interesting, and just really cool villains, and pretty interesting villains. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Let's first of all let's go on with the characters, like the first appearances and everything. So first of all, the first appearance, they're actually kind of like a later character. Like they were created not too long ago, back in December of 2011. Uh, again, they were created quite recently. So again, I kind of understand why they're a bit underrated, but at the same time, they're still underrated. Even though they were created not too long ago, they're still very underrated to me. Uh, and again, they were like it was more so a part of the New 52 and everything, or slash DC Rebirth and stuff like that. And it was they were created by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Scott Snyder was the writer for this, and of course, Greg Capullo was the artist for them at the time. Uh, and then Talon is just more of like a character, like a member of the Court of Owls at the same time and everything. Uh, so yeah, uh, yeah. In terms of talent and stuff, it's a changing identity at the same time. Uh, just just because, yeah. Again, it's a little bit of a change of identity at times, but for the most part, it is William Cobb, who is basically just the main talent kind of. So that was interesting to note as well. Uh, Yeah, but I'll explain kind of talent just now. But anyways, again, we just covered the first appearances. So again, they're fairly recent. They're not too old, but at the same time, still very underrated. Again, Court of Owls. Basically, if you don't know what they are, basically a collection of kind of high organized, like they're criminals basically of wealthy high class people in Gotham basically, and they wear these sort of like court of owl masks, as you can see here. And basically, they just go into crime and stuff like that, and do all this criminal stuff. And basically, they're one of like the more mysterious kind of organizations. Uh, they've been a few different things in terms of media wise. Again, so that's pretty interesting to note as well. They've been in a bunch of things. Like I remember, they were in Gotham, for example. They were in the Batman vs. Robin, the DC animated movie. They were in that. Uh, and that's what really comes to my mind. I can't remember if they were in the Arkham games or not. I think there were like a few Easter eggs, but they were never actually in it. Actually, sorry, they're supposed to be the main villains in the Gotham Knights video game that's coming out soon. So that's interesting to note as well. Uh, Again, these characters are very secretive, very interesting. They're not very like they don't have no mental illness or anything like that, or like the insane kind of villains that Batman usually has. So that's another thing too with these villains. They're different than said the other Batman's rogues and stuff like that. Uh, Again, with the Talons, basically there's been multiple of them, and basically what they are is they're literally just like highly trained assassins, uh, that are basically trained to basically do the Court of Owls kind of bidding, I guess. Basically assassinate whatever they need, they will do basically. So yeah, and I think they're pretty interesting. Of course, like there's been different towns and stuff like that. Uh, Many different ones that go around and stuff like that. But of course, like most of them have skill on par with, like said, Batman or something like that. I mean, obviously they get beat up by Batman, but at the same time, there's been a few instances where Courts of a member of, sorry, a member of the Talon, basically is on par with Batman. So that's pretty interesting. And I must say, like they're kind of like a little bit of like a mirror version of Batman at the same time. Because if you think about it, like all these characters have their definitely their mirror kind of villains and stuff like that. In the sense, like for example, Superman has General Zod, and like Flash has Reverse Flash, and everything like that. Whereas I personally believe that Talon is definitely probably the mirror of Batman, either him or Deathstroke. That's personally what I think. Uh, of course, probably in terms of like sane type villains, I would say like these guys rank number three in my personal opinion. Like Deathstroke and Ra's al Ghul definitely are a bit higher than them. But I mean, Talon is definitely an interesting one to be the least. So yeah. Again, these characters are more very secretive and everything, and they work in their own kind of society and whatnot. So at the same time, not too much is kind of known about them. At the same time, so that kind of what's sorry, that's kind of what makes them kind of rated. At the same time, they like kind of best Batman at the same time. So some of the times, now I've noticed an I noticed a lot of resemblance at the same time to, for example, the League of Assassins. But honestly, I definitely see like the big differences and stuff like that, of course. But at the same time, I see the similarities and everything. So it's like, yeah, that's interesting and everything like that. But I mean, definitely there's a lot of differences and stuff like that. Uh, again, again, they're more secretive and stuff like that than the League of Assassins and whatnot. So that's that's again pretty interesting. Uh, But again, I think these villains are very underrated. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think Talon's pretty cool. Again, I think the whole idea of Court of Owls is pretty interesting. I'm kind of surprised. Like, personally, I would have loved to see maybe an actual live action adaptation of them or something. Definitely could be very interesting. I mean, I'm not going to say maybe even a show too. It could be really interesting. But, anyways, that's pretty much it though. Uh, in terms of like rating of them, I would honestly give them a 9 out of 10. But as time progresses, I definitely think they could definitely evolve even more and just be a cooler group and everything. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.